Well, you're probably wondering how it is that I got myself into this situation. What does it say about my mental state that I feel the need to ram two extremely excessively massive vessels into each other that will probably crash my computer? And what exactly was the purpose of building these two things in the beginning? I mean, they are quite intricate, and if size was what I was going for, I could have built them immensely larger than this, given 1,000 parts. You see, these ships aren't just starships, which are huge and leggy on their own. No, they have reinforced armor. They were built with the intent to not be destroyed. And that's all the more reason to ram two of them at full speed right directly into each other. But you see, that is not where this story begins. For this story begins, well, a long time ago, and I'll just leave it like that. This isn't just a story about two massive ships hitting each other. This is a story about an arms race. One that started all the way back in 2013, when a YouTuber known as Macy Dean created a series in KSP role-playing a mock battle in space through a series of scripted episodes. Shortly after, many others wanted to get in on the fun that he seemingly had. And so they started small communities to roleplay their own battles by exchanging craft files with each other, and sending the crafts up in orbit to test their skills against each other. Yes, there were distinct classes of fighters and battleships and carriers like the one you see here, and those were staples throughout all the years of this community. But one large division existed and persisted throughout all of this, and that was the division between armor and weapons. Whereas other players collaborating or competing in KSP try to race each other to significant objects like the Mun or Eve or Lathe. The players in this community raced each other and competed against each other to see who could develop the toughest armor as well as the deadliest weapons. At first, the simplest armor was just wings, but later structural parts were used as well. But this always relied upon an internal skeleton of fuel fuselages, which was weak and vulnerable to attack. The first weapons, too, were made of these same fuselages, and were equally ineffective. Later weapons used structural elements as well, and propelled them forward using SRB rockets. These could even break through the structural pieces that armor was using at the time, destroying the weak fuselages beneath them which supported them. Armor responded with an elaborate construction method, which employed the use of structural beams as a skeleton for each craft, with fuel and other necessary components tucked inside tiny cavities safely hidden away underneath a sheet of yet more structural panels. This proved most effective and was extremely common for a number of years. Weapons responded by creating large, independently movable and aimable missiles, which could almost be considered their own spacecraft. They would use specialized armor-piercing tips. These could include elements as bizarre as wheels. Armor responded by doubling, tripling, or even quadrupling itself up, with wing on top structural panel, on top wing, on top structural panel. And so we return to the modern day, when two of these behemoths collide head to head in a test of armor.